Hi guys, this video is about absolute value. So one of the things you're going to be reminded of is that absolute value can be put into an equation. And remember that absolute value means the distance from zero. So just as a concept, I want you to remember that the absolute value, okay, being the distance from zero. Let's just do this real quick. Here's zero, okay? If I tell you that the absolute value of x is equal to 3, what that means is that this value could be any number that's the distance 3 from 0. So that would put you at 3 and -3, because both are 3 away from 0. X can be both 3 or -3. Okay, one of the ways that we're going to learn to solve these problems, or one of the simplest things, is to remember what I call this. I always say suck it out, which sounds kind of gross, but suck it out like vacuum cleaner. You're going to take out the x, and whatever's inside that x, okay, we know that the absolute value, coming back to this problem, the absolute value of -3 is 3, and the absolute value of +3 is equal to 3. So there are two different values that fit in there. So the method of an absolute value problem is that whatever's inside here, this inside can be both positive or it could be negative. And so whatever this is equal to, we shall see. Okay, we're going to learn to set this equal to the positive and negative value of whatever this is. And it'll become clearer in a little bit. So I'm going to erase that actually. All right. So in this case, this is a pretty simple, straightforward problem. We've got the absolute value of x is equal to 9. Well, there are two values, okay? That could, this value, whatever's inside here, that x could be both All right, sorry about that. All right, so that x could either be a positive 9 or that x could be a -9. There's always two values for absolute values, except for one. There's one number that does not have two values. Can you figure out what it is? What's the one number that when you plug it in, you only get one value? I'll let you know. The answer is 0, because 0 is on top of 0, so it can't be distanced from 0. All right. All right. Moving on. Next problem. Okay, this one says solve for x. Now, take a look at this. Remember, we've got to use our problem-solving skills to figure out what are we trying to do. We're trying to isolate this variable. We're trying to get that one by itself. Notice the -11 is not inside the absolute value. You can operate inside the absolute value with stuff on the outside of the absolute value. Think of the absolute value as kind of like parentheses. They're not parentheses, but they are grouping symbols, and they fall under that whole area in PEMDAS. So we got to isolate it first. So we're going to go absolute value of x. Let's try doing this in actual. Absolute value of x minus 11 equals -5. So we're going to add 11 to both sides. You do not need to show this work. You can just jump to this next step if you can. If you can jump, jump. Okay, so it says the absolute value of x is equal to 6. So we're going to take out the inside and set it equal to the positive and the negative and check it. 6, the absolute value of 6 is 6. The absolute value of -6, 6. Okay, next type. Now look, the variable's stuck inside the absolute value here, but then they have some extra stuff. That's okay. The point is to get the absolute value by itself, which it is. It is absolutely by itself. There's nothing attached to it. There's nothing we need to subtract. So what we're going to do, I'm going to rewrite the problem. You are going to suck out the inside, so to speak. This, whatever's inside here, could be equal to positive. I'm going to actually cover it up. Doesn't matter what it is. It could be equal to positive 15 or negative 15. It doesn't matter. So that's what we do. We take it out and we set it equal to positive 15, or, I'm sorry, I'm going to have to use it over here. We set it equal to negative 15. Hopefully on your notes you would have started and had like a right-hand side. So here we go. I'm going to just fix this a little bit. It looks like an S, and that's bugging me. And that looks like a 1.5, and that's bugging me too. Okay, there we go. Let's neaten up this problem just a tiny bit. All right, so now you just have to solve the problem. Remember, keep your equal signs in line. You can do the work in your head. If you can do the work in your head, it's okay with me. Say to yourself, add 10 to both sides. Positive 10 minus 15 is negative 5. Now you need to divide by 5. So r is equal to negative 1. Here, add 10 to both sides, and you get 5r equals 25. Again, keep your equal signs in line. Divide by 5, and you get 5. Notice they're not the same. They don't have to be the same. Okay, don't get freaked out because of that. Plug them back in, and you can check to see that they work. You ready? I'm going to actually show the check because I think it's important. Okay, here we go. We're going to take this little guy. Actually, yeah, well, you know what I'll do? I'll just erase it and plug it in right here. 5 times negative 1. You can do this in your head. 5 times negative 1 is negative 5 minus 10 is negative 15. The absolute value of negative 15 is 15. It checks. Okay, let's try the next one. 5. 5 times 5. 5 times 5 is 25. 25 minus 10 is 15. Absolute value of 15 is 15. So they both check. Learn to check your problems, you guys, just as a general rule. All right, and those are the absolute value problems you have tonight.